In this video, I'm going to tell you 5 phrases that can make a man melt. Stay tuned because I'm going to start in a moment. I'm Jason Silver. I'm the dating coach for ambitious women. And on this channel, I give you strategies to connect with men more deeply and also how to understand the crazy species that is the man. Be sure to hit the red subscribe button so you don't miss any of my free trainings. Now let's jump into the 5 phrases. The first is the character trait phrase. Now this is a short compliment that tells a man that you appreciate his character traits. You could say, "You are so outgoing," or "I love how calm you can act in stressful times," or just letting him know that you appreciate his determination or his loyalty. Basically, when you start complimenting a man on his character traits, you're training him to do that more, to practice that character trait in your presence. Humans respond very well to positive feedback. Especially early on in a relationship, a guy should be jumping through hoops to make you happy and to make you adore him. And you shouldn't expect him to just get it, to just know how to do it. You need to tell him, you need to say it once, twice, 3 times, and keep going. I have a Doberman, Rocky, and when we had to train him to sit down, I couldn't just tell this wild little animal how to sit one time and he would get it. I had to do it over and over again for months and months. And even now, the guy is 10 years old, and even now I need to retrain him with treats. So be sure when you're in a relationship to actively look for these traits coming out in a man and let him know you appreciate it. It's the only way to train a man to treat you with those traits. Number 2 is the values compliment phrase. Now, the character trait phrase discusses the characteristics of a man's being, while these values compliment phrase complements a man's deeper values, what he really cares about. Now, this is what I would say maybe the most important phrase that you can say to a man, because it teaches him what you really care about. And it starts to create a foundation for the relationship itself. You begin to understand as a couple what you both care about, what you both can support each other with. Values could be around financial security, or building a home life, or traveling and adventuring, or giving back to your community. Early on in dating, Kathy and I would have these long conversations about family and having kids. And she nailed it. That is still very important to me, and it has become one of the foundations in our relationship. It becomes very easy when you're dating someone to start focusing on all of the important and urgent things going on. I've got to go to the bank. I've got to pay my bills. I've got to go to work. Someone's calling me to pick them up. There's this emergency and that. It becomes much more difficult to focus on the things that are most important, but not necessarily super urgent in that moment. And some of those things are our values, what we deeply need and care about. And I encourage you to really spend time to focus on that and complimenting and talking about what you really care about in the long term so you don't waste time with the wrong man. Number 3, the protector phrase. All men want to feel like they are protecting their partner. This is so important. And the reality is we just don't have to in the same way that we used to, but we still have that need. And there could be instances where you're the breadwinner. And in reality, you're the one who is the financial protector. And the challenge with not giving a man a phrase or a compliment to let him know that he makes you feel protected, the problem with not doing that is you're not giving him what he really deeply needs and what you deeply need. I think we all, as humans, want to feel protected and secure, but especially in the male and female dynamic. So I strongly encourage you to let him know regularly that he's a guy that makes you feel protected. You can actually say this. This is one phrase that you don't even need to say. This can be a non-verbal thing. If you're leaving a restaurant together, if you're going out, just grabbing his arm a little bit, and just kind of walking close to him as if he's there protecting you. Or maybe looking it up to him or grabbing his arm and saying, "Gosh, you are so strong." And really trying to say it meaningfully, really letting him know that he's someone from a physical standpoint that can take care of you. It's got to be authentic, but if you do this, I promise you, the guy should puff up a little and he should think about it more and he should want to be more chivalrous and do things for you. This is so important in a relationship, especially in 2021 when you don't need that. You could be strong on your own. But just remember, every partner has a need, and men need to feel like a protector. Number 4, the sexual feedback phrase. I don't talk about sex a ton on this channel, but this is so important. One of my good friends, Caitlin V, is a top sex coach for men. And one of the biggest challenges that she hears from men on a daily basis is they're clueless in the bedroom and they're not getting the feedback they need. And all men just want to be the sexual warrior. It's like a deep primal, ego boost that men have. And the reality is, female pleasure system is like a black hole of confusion for most men. And what I have found is most of my clients, when they are being intimate with a man, are so incredibly focused on him and pleasuring him that sometimes they forget to tell a guy what they like. They think, he should know. Can't he understand what I'm feeling? And the answer is no. Men are super dense. We have no idea. The best thing that you can do here is tell him. This is the phrase. You just say, that really feels good when you X, Y, Z. Whatever that is, tell him. Be specific so he could do it more. Now, if you have negative feedback, don't say it. Do not say it to him because he will hear that over and over for the rest of your relationship. Instead, guide him. Literally, take his hand or move him and show him. Teach him. You don't realize that this is like a man's dream, to be trained in this so he can get better. So this is one of those phrases that can change everything for a guy and make him feel more confident and more secure in himself and more connected and wanting to be more intimate with you. Number 5, the social compliment phrase. Whether a man admits it or not, his friends, his family, his associate, his network are all very important to him. It represents a part of us. The people that we spend the most amount of time with play a really big impact and role on who we are. So it's very important that you surround yourself or you partner up with a guy who you at least respect or like some of his network, some of his friends, some of his family. Because if you don't, there's going to be a big, big problem in the future. And if you do appreciate these people, you have to let them know. And it could be something simple. You could just say, your friends are really cool or interesting. Or, wow, your family, they're such good-hearted people. Whatever it is, look for the good in these people. Even if you're afraid or have some concerns, don't focus on the what-ifs. Try to focus on the what is, the gratitude of what you really appreciate about these people, because he will internalize that. This is an important part of someone's life. And if you can let him know that you are aligned and you appreciate the connections that he's made and developed over the years, it will be deeply meaningful to him. So I've given you 5 phrases to make a man melt. Imagine meeting this guy who is exactly the kind of person you envision spending the rest of your life with. This guy is smart, he's funny, he's kind. And instead of just complimenting him on some hobby he just developed, you dive deeper and you share with him the exact character traits that you appreciate in him. He hears you loud and clear and he tries actively to be that kind of guy more. You remind him about what you appreciate about his values, and you both discover that you actually care deeply about the same things. You remind him that you feel protected in his presence, and he tries to fill that role more and more by being there for you. You're explicit and direct about your intimate needs, and he appreciates your openness and candor. And as time passes, he learns about you and your body more, and you both feel incredibly comfortable and connected. You're honest with him about the people that he surrounds himself with and why you appreciate the people that he cares about most. He begins to feel as if he can't live without you. And a few months down the line, he says, "You are my rock and my best friend, and I am in love with you." I've seen this happen again and again, and I know it can happen for you. Now, if you've made it this far, I do know that you're here for some juicy secrets to help you continue to understand men better. And I'm going to offer you an extremely valuable secret approach that's going to do just that. It'll unlock the key to a man's heart and reveal his deeper hidden desires. I call this new approach going inside the male mind. Learning this will give you this ability that most women will not gain. The ability to read a man's true desires so you can connect with him more deeply than any woman has before. But I'll warn you, this concept is a bit controversial. It does fly in the face of what most people in this world think about attraction. So if you're interested, I just released a brand new exclusive presentation where I explain this approach in depth. And you can watch that right now by clicking the link in the description. In this presentation, you're going to get a behind the scenes look into what men secretly say when you're not around. You'll have your eyes opened to a new, smarter way to attract a high quality man into your life quicker than you ever thought possible. Frankly, this might just change the way you view dating forever. But if you want to learn this, go check it out right now while it's still online. You'll discover why in this presentation, and hopefully you'll be one of the women who take me up on this special offer that I'm making for a limited amount of time. I'll see you over there.